Round 11 of the Motorsport News Ford Fiesta Junior Championship at Brands Hatch, the 1.2 mile Indy circuit, and pole position to JJ Ross today. Jack Mitchell alongside, Charlie Liddell on the inside of row 2, Aidan Moffat to his outside, Ben Wilcox in 5th, and a very welcome return to the championship to Alfonso Skritska. Cars on the grid, and the daunting prospect of Paddock Hill Bend facing the cars. Oh, and there's a little bit of a jump start there from Jack Mitchell. Well, will he be penalised for that? We'll have to wait and see how that pans out in the start. Certainly he did stop, but it might be a case of out of position. But we're on board with Aidan Moffat, who's got up into 2nd place. Charlie Liddell it is that leads 2nd in the championship, probably a championship leader if we start to take drop scores into account. But there is Aidan Moffat. JJ Ross, now of course racing in that yellow livery that we saw debuted at Rockingham. He's in 3rd position, and the field all pretty close as they come up towards Surtees for the first time. Along Cooper Straight now, the left-hander is Surtees, and then it's up through McLaren and into Clearways. So Aidan Moffat then is the chaser at the moment. Charlie Liddell, who has been out of the winner's circle since the 2 races at Donington Park. Remember, he had 5 race wins on the trot, did Charlie, starting with race 2 at Silverstone. Race 1, of course, won by Freddie Lee. Not with us this weekend. The car's down to Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. If you've not been to Brands Hatch, I can't tell you what a daunting corner that is. It really does drop away. I've never seen a TV camera angle get it, whether it's been a huge event like Grand Prix or German touring cars, anything like that. Nobody can capture just what a drop that is, and that's daunting for these 14 to 17 year olds, but they're handling it so well in these STs. This is the first year of the championship. Loads of people looking at coming in for next year, and these guys that are out racing today, very much the pioneers, flying the flag for the championship, giving us some very good driving displays. And thus far, it's good for Aidan Moffat in 2nd place, and the race leader, Jack Mitchell, he is on 127 points. Sorry, 149 points. Jack Mitchell, the championship leader. Charlie Liddell on 127, as James Ross, who's 4th in the championship, puts pressure on Aidan Moffat. Those two, incredibly, after 10 rounds, just separated by 2 championship points. It's Moffat that holds 3rd position at the moment. 2nd position in the race, so really a battle of honour between those two. Ben Wilcox in the red 88 car, not losing touch. So down through Graham Hill Bend they go, and along Cooper Straight. These guys, it seems, have been listening to the clerk of the course, not using the runoff, not even getting 2 wheels over the edge of the circuit. The edge of the circuit, incidentally, some confusion with drivers, because the edge of the circuit is marked by the white line, not the red and white curves. It's the white line that you have to look out for. If you get 2 wheels over it, you're okay. If you get 4, you get penalised. 4 wheels over repeatedly, you'll get penalised, either with a time penalty or maybe a drive-through penalty from the clerk of the course. But this is the challenge for 2nd position. JJ Ross on the outside, and Aidan Moffat's coming under pressure outside of Paddock. This is, I tell you, this is brave stuff for the seniors. Never mind the juniors, and it doesn't quite work for JJ. Collects it up, very nearly hit by Ben Wilcox, but incredibly keeps it all going. Jack Mitchell's coming through in 19. I'm wondering whether the fact that there's less gravel there means that drivers can potentially attack it a little bit more. It's certainly meant this year, with the extra tarmac rather than gravel, that we've had less safety cars and red flags after and less first lap incidents. But what it probably means in the race is that the drivers can attack it a little bit more. And I'll draw a comparison with speedway racing on the ovals. When the organisers in speedway started introducing air fences, the riders started taking more risks, and that could be the way of Druids. You can attack it a little bit more because there's less likelihood of being beached. Pulling over again is Jack Mitchell. I'm going to take my hat off to Jack, because he's really driven a mature racer. He knows he's got a problem with the car. We saw him indicate earlier on when he was in position and he realised he'd got a problem. He got out of the way of JJ Ross is coming through there in yellow, and he's done the same again as a back marker, so he finds himself a lap down now, but that is very mature driving. He's keeping it going, he wants the championship points, he wants the classified finish if he can get it, but he's kept out of the way. It's always something we say, that drivers who create misdemeanors and things like that on circuit get hauled up in front of the clerk of the course, but I think Jack's to be complimented on the way he's handling the situation that he's got with that car that's just not working quite right for him at the moment. Still on this battle for second position, Ben Wilcox. Now JJ Ross is actually the fastest man on track. JJ, he's they're all the drivers lapping in the sub 1 minute bracket. Charlie Liddell having done a 57.01, Aidan Moffat with a 57.2, and JJ Ross is edging towards the 56 seconds brackets at the moment, but Liddell very much cleared, seems to be consistently quicker than these guys. JJ Ross trying to close in on them. Remember, he was battling for second position early on in the race, so we know he's got the pace. Qualified on pole position with a 56.4. In fact, 4 of the 6 drivers were on 56.4, and the other 2, Ben Wilcox and Alfonso Skritska, just in the 57. So there's very little between the 6 drivers, 1.4 seconds, and when you consider that Skritska's been away, that's a really superb achievement. Now most of these guys, this is the first ever junior race here at Brands Hatch. I suspect there might have been some track days or something like that going on, and a wee bit of testing, but other than that, it's the first visit for them. Cracking little scrap going on for second place at the moment, and Moffat holding on to it, so the older of the 2 drivers just got the upper hand at the moment. I remind you that the window for Motorsport News Ford Fiestas is ages 14 through 17. Now at 16 you can go on and race a senior formula, and you tend to see drivers in junior formulas historically maybe starting at 14, running for that year, running on their 15th birthday, and then when they get to 16 using the opportunity to maybe move into single-seater racing, as Ben Wilcox really does start to put the pressure on, coming out of clearways through Clark Curve and onto the Bradburn Straight, just drops away a little bit there, and Moffat will hang on to second position, but JJ Ross in yellow is definitely reeling them in. The gap is coming down between Ross and Ben Wilcox, running in third place. Back to the leader, Charlie Liddell, just to remind us that he is there and leading by a very good margin at the moment, very handsome margin, pulling away. So Liddell doing what he did from round 2 through round 6 at Donington Park, an incredible run of 5 wins, and we thought the championship was going to be handed on a plate to him at that stage, but things changed around with those 2 DNFs, one at Cadwell, one at Rockingham, and plenty of other drivers still in the mix. Aidan Moffat not that far behind on 102 points, as we mentioned, and JJ Ross in 4th on 100. And I was starting to talk about the path that drivers take. In effect, one of the problems for championship organisers of junior championships is that it's a small window for the drivers. With a senior championship, drivers, you know, on average, you might do 4 or 5 years of a championship. But with the junior championship, the window is only 3 years, and if one of the drivers decides to go into a senior formula at age 16, which they can do, it means that the window is 2 years. So effectively, the championship organiser's got to renew his driver base every 2 and certainly every 3 seasons. So it's a very difficult championship. Junior championship is very difficult to get off the ground and maintain. But these cars certainly have got to be the route to touring cars, a very good profile, and as we've said before, a lot of people have seen the TV coverage and have thought, you know what, this is probably going to be a cheaper route than karting, and it definitely is a cheaper route than top level karting for sure, and the drivers that are coming in are loving it. It's a super environment. So second position now, 3-way scrap. JJ Ross has got himself onto the back of Ben Wilcox in red, so Wilcox now, from being the hunter, becomes the hunted as they come around Clark Curve and down the Brabham Straight onto the last lap. Charlie Liddell looks like he's got another win in the bag. It's been a great drive from Charlie. He's going to get himself back onto the top step of the podium as Ben Wilcox looks around the outside but ends up on the gravel. That's almost what happened to JJ Ross earlier on. Wilcox down to 4th, and JJ's got himself back on the podium, but Charlie Liddell is 7.5 seconds clear on the last lap. There's Jack Mitchell in 19. He's 2 laps down on the race leader. He's kept out of the way. He's nursed the car home. JJ Ross has got the fastest lap, 56.846, as we look at Charlie Liddell coming around the Vortex-backed WDE car, coming through to take the checkered flag and get to the top spot of the podium once again. Here he is. This has been a superb drive from Charlie, who qualified in 3rd place. And there he comes, checkered flag. It is a win for Charlie Liddell, who extends the net championship lead for sure. Here's the battle for second. JJ Ross comes out of the slipstream, and it's a split second between the two. Aidan Moffat just gets second position. JJ Ross in 3rd. Ben Wilcox will take 4th. But Charlie Liddell is back where he thinks he belongs, his 6th championship win of the season in the Motorsport News Ford Fiesta Junior Championship. Confirmation of that. Aidan Moffat 2nd, great recovery from JJ Ross. 3rd and fastest lap. Ben Wilcox surviving a moment down the bottom of Halewoods to take 4th from Alfonso Skritska, 5th on his return, and Jack Mitchell nursing his car home into 6th place.
Charlie, first race of the day, another victory.
Yeah, it's good to get back on top after the last round. Got a brilliant start and just managed to pull a big gap and hold everyone off.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter Keene.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new GoRacingTV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch. It's race 2 for event 6 of the championship here, and the cars lining up in the order in which they finished in the previous race. That means that Charlie Liddell starts on pole with Aidan Moffat 2nd, JJ Ross 3rd, Ben Wilcox on the outside of row 2. Then it's Alfonso Skritska and Jack Mitchell, who's hoping that his problems have been sorted out and that he can go a little bit better on his home circuit. Everyone in good order. Lights on here. Sometimes outside of the front row perceived as pole position. So we'll see what Aidan Moffat can do. He certainly looks equal to the task of Charlie Liddell as they go down to paddock for the first time. But Liddell's got the line. Keep your eyes on the yellow car, JJ Ross. Fastest lap and pole position. He's certainly the man with the speed around this Indy circuit this weekend. Side by side as they come up towards Druids. Aidan Moffat's hanging in. He's got his nose in front, but it's the wide line at Druids. Now if he can hang on, he'll grab the line down to Graham Hill Bend. Good driving by Charlie Liddell, because he could have squeezed him, but he didn't. That was superb, mature driving. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of senior drivers that could take notice of what those guys did there. They kept it clean, they kept it fair, no paint trading. That was really good, superb stuff. Now JJ Ross challenging Charlie Liddell and trying to get into that second position. They all know the race isn't won at the first corner. You know, a lot of people say that juniors in racing don't listen. Well, they have been listening, because that was brilliant for a first lap. Alfonso Skritska at the back, making up one position already, is Jack Mitchell in 19, the second of the white cars. They go down to paddock for lap 2. On board with Alfonso, returning to the championship. Now in one race he's doubled his points tally in the championship. He's gone from 10 points to 21. Problem for Jack Mitchell, and scything through on the inside is Alfonso. Read that well, saw the problem coming up, pointed the car down the inside. He's up into 5th place, so that's great for him. I'm going to talk about the championship points and expand on what I was saying in race number 1 about the drop scores, because the all rounds less 2 count unless you get a disqualification, in which case you can't drop a disqualification, because obviously that would be a bit of an advantage, counting something like that as a drop score. In fact, we'll put the championship points on hold for a minute because this is so close. Aidan Moffat, it is out front at the moment. And JJ Ross, fastest man here so far this weekend, back in third. Look at Charlie Liddell, the car just bouncing a little bit as he went through paddock. That shows you these guys are on the limit. They really are giving it. And here he comes down the inside. Liddell looks at the inside at Druids, having been a complete gentleman on lap number 1 and given his teammate room. It's such a big culture shock. I'm making a big deal of it, but it is such a culture shock moving from karts where you can go wheel to wheel, lots of wheel banging, to coming into cars. There's always the temptation to do those karting moves, and these guys didn't. It is such good driving standards that we've seen on the first couple of laps here. So Charlie Liddell, who would dearly love to get another win here, make it another double. Remember, he's had 2 doubles already so far this season. Has got James Ross with him. James had a superb recovery after a good fighting attack. I think James knew in race number 1 that he was the fastest man here, certainly in qualifying, and he wanted to gun for the win, and that's exactly what he's doing here. So the 3 of them chased by Ben Wilcox, who's just a couple of car lengths adrift at the moment. The red 88 car is challenging down. Then we've got Alfonso Skritska enjoying a battle with championship points leader Jack Mitchell. That shows you how competitive the championship is, with Jack Dyson with Alfonso down for 6th place, but out front these 4. I think Ben's just keeping a watching brief at the moment in 4th position, because with these 3 going at it, anything can happen. It's good clean stuff at the moment, and I suspect just a little bit of sizing up of the opposition just now as they come through clearways once again. Aidan Moffat, the young Scot, out front. Then it's Charles Liddell in 2nd place. Liddell again with, as we said, with a reasonable amount of car racing experience coming into this season. The rest of them in their first season of car racing. Look how close they've been. The wing mirror flapping off, the yellow wing mirror on the inside of Ben Wilcox's car in 3rd position. But I was about to say, I thought Aidan Moffat was really going to come under pressure there. He's not got away. The 3 cars squabbling together really should have given him an opportunity. We've got driving standards flag going out there. I think that's probably just a general warning, a reminder about, I suspect, about the runoffs here at Brands. The organisers really on the case about that, as JJ Ross points up the inside here in number 4. Has he got the speed to take the line into Druids? Yes, he has. JJ Ross back on the podium again. So he is there. Ben Wilcox fighting back though and goes for the inside line. That's the outside as they come down Graham Hill through the left-hander. Ross up into 3rd place. Wilcox down to 4th. He's got all that work to do again. Charlie Liddell busy challenging Aidan Moffat out front along Cooper Straight into Surtees. All 4 of them just settled for the moment. 5th position is Jack Mitchell, who's got ahead of Alfonso Skritska. So Skritska down to 6, but significantly another finish in the offing for him, and that's what he needs, some track time in the car. And all of these guys are going to be looking forward to coming back in the Formula Ford Festival, and it's going to be an absolutely huge international crowd here. Who knows, we might even get a few young international drivers thinking about coming into the championship for next year with that forum. It's such a great meeting to come and race at this level. But Aidan Moffat still there. Charlie Liddell 2nd. Down at the bottom of Haywards, here comes Ross again. This is where he did the move on Wilcox last time, and he's so close. Was there just a little tap on the back of the car? Certainly not deliberate, but he got so close under braking as they went into Druids. Liddell pulls away in 2nd position. He's still putting the pressure on the young Scot in the 43 car in front of him. Along Cooper Straight once again. Up into Surtees. They're following each other line for line. And that's a good thing. They're all using the proper racing line, except when there's a pass that's about to maybe come into it. You can see the wing mirror of Charlie Liddell's car is hanging off as well, and he positions the WDE car up the inside. That's his textbook stuff from Liddell, who's going to come through. Aidan Moffat on the outside could get hung out to dry here and could lose not only the lead but 2nd position as they come down to paddock. He chops across the front of JJ Ross. He's lost the lead, but he's saved 2nd position. Good driving by Aidan Moffat, who's back on the offensive. Looks to the inside. Very wide line there. Look for JJ Ross on the inside. Is he going to try and come through? No, he isn't. Look, he went wide. Yes, he is. He's through. JJ Ross up into 2nd place. Down the hill. Aidan Moffat's going to be very, very disappointed with that. Oh, and he's been passed by Ben Wilcox as well. Now, has Aidan Moffat got a problem? Look at the ground that he's lost. The young Scot has lost a shed load of speed. Yes, he has got a problem. Through goes Jack Mitchell into 4th place, and Aidan Moffat, after a sterling opening laps, has dropped down to 6th position. Something's got to miss with the car. Well, he doesn't pit. He's going to try and keep it going for the moment by the looks of things. Maybe inspired by what we saw Jack Mitchell do in the first race, to nurse the car home and bring it home for points. Remember, he's 3rd in the points tally at the moment. That's going to change. JJ Ross is going to pass him for 3rd. Ben Wilcox is there. Jack Mitchell crossing in front of us now in 4th place. Alfonso Skritska, another good race for him, in 5th place so far. Alfonso Skritska, just to give you an idea, as we mentioned, this is only his 3rd meeting this year. His qualifying time, 57.87. In the race, he improved to 57.4, race 1, and race number 2, 57.428, and in this race, 57.4 again. So he's settling in nicely, as Alfonso, back on his return to the car, learning the track as well. But these two still hard at it, and it's WDE in front at the moment of the Daniels Motorsport car. Pete Daniels, the team boss, multi-champion driver in the Fiestas. Here they come across the line again. This is brilliant stuff. So just 1.2 miles to go around the Indy circuit. JJ Ross has done a superb job in chasing Charles Liddell. He's driven brilliantly. He's not gone overly defensive, and he doesn't here. I think he knows he's probably got just the upper hand over James Ross. Remember, we saw Ross flick past here earlier on, but Charles, I think, that was a confident line into Druids on this last lap. Down to Graham Hill Bend for the last time. Average speeds around here, and this is the average, remember, and there are very slow corners at Brands Hatch, 75.39 miles per hour. So these youngsters, 14 to 17 year olds, are giving us a superb display. And will we see these guys in the British Touring Car Championship, or moving up the ladder towards F1 if they go single seaters in due course? That could well be the case. But Charlie Liddell hanging on. JJ Ross has got one more opportunity. That's the drag along the Brabham Straight. He's been quick along here in the previous laps. He's going to pull out of the slipstream and have a go. No, he can't do it. Liddell makes it 2 out of 2 here at Brands Hatch. What a cracking race between those two. Hats off to them. A little bit of paint trading. An excellent first lap where they kept it all on. Well, Aidan Moffat sadly did retire from the race, and that means that Alfonso Skritska is going to come home as the 5th and final finisher. He's trebled his points haul this weekend at Brands Hatch. That's great. Let's hope that he comes back for our penultimate meeting of the year at Snetterton. But meanwhile, confirmation of the result. Charles Liddell takes the win. JJ Ross, 2nd place, fastest lap again. So well done, JJ, on that. Ben Wilcox, 3rd. Jack Mitchell in 4th place, and Alfonso Skritska completing the runners in 5th. Hard lines to Aidan Moffat on an on-finish.
Charlie, 2nd race. Now, that was a lot tougher, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was much closer than the first race. I got a bad start. Aidan managed to get past me, and I got back past him, but James was so close for the whole of the race. I wasn't sure if I was going to hold him off, but I did it, so it was a good result.
Aidan, Charlie ran away with that a bit, but you were having a good battle for 2nd, weren't you?
Yeah, he got away early, managed to build on his lead well. I was caught back battling, trying to hold my position.
Ben, 3rd place, and quite an entertaining race.
Yeah, a very good race. Close to start with, and then the front two just broke away, and I was sitting there in 3rd with a good gap.